Well, hello. It's Leslie Waldron here, integrative women's health coach on a mission to support women to live wildly well. And I, through their peri to postmenopause transition, and I am really thrilled to have with me Anissa Zekkouti from Wake Up Balance. She's a nutritionist, and she and I have had some amazing conversations where we really feel like we're on the same page when it comes to looking after women and their well-being. So I wonder if I can hand over to Anissa. She's got an amazing story, and I'd love for you to thank you for being here. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey to the work you do now.
Thank you, Leslie. I'm so glad to be here with you. And yes, I think I got a lot to tell about my story. And from my experience and the clients that I have today and that I'm helping, it's been uh, a really beautiful, I would say, a beautiful journey, but it's been such a lot to go through because it all started when I was 19 years old. And back then, everything seemed so clear and the future so bright with I had just become an English teacher and started studying and teaching people in France, and then I had a quite disastrous news that I had a pancreatic tumor back then.
Mm,
So it just turned my whole life upside down, and
absolutely.
everything went from to up, from up to down.
Mm,
I was just completely overwhelmed, didn't know what to do, and there was some kind of energy, I don't know where it came from, but it helped me start a whole journey to understand what was the reason I got sick in the first place.
mm,
Because even if I had the chance, and yes, I had it was real luck for me to have the surgery that could help
mm,
me go through everything that happened. I still needed to understand the reason why, I got
mm.
a tumor. And I have to say that I was the first one in France as an adult to have this. So,
Wow. Gosh, you're a
yeah.
record breaker. I can't imagine what that must have been like at 19, feeling like, you've got your whole life ahead of you, that things are just starting picking up. And then to have news like that, to have to deal with that treatment to an incredibly invasive surgery and the kind of perspective shift that that would have forced on you. But how amazing that you kind of had that. I want to understand why, and that will help me to process what's going on for me as well as maybe support other people too.
Exactly. When you don't know what's the reason why you got sick in the first place, it's just like you've got a double burden to wear, to
Yeah.
just carry. You've got the news, the horrible news, and it's like, you've got the future, you've got the project,
Mm,
you've got everything you have worked so hard for, and for in this side, and then you've got the disease, and now nothing here is important. You've got
yeah.
just this side of it, the sickness, the disease, and you're like, either you just go deeper down the
Mm,
rabbit hole, or you just try to make something great out of it. And this is how my journey to holistic nutrition and
mm,
naturopathy started. Yes, I really wanted to understand for myself in the first place. But then, as I started to understand, the reason why I got sick, and try to
mm.
find solutions that could really help me, start rise again, I would say.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
started, thinking that it could be a solution for more people as well.
Yeah. Powerful, powerful stuff. Thank you for sharing that, and how what an incredible story. So, would you say now that the work that you do around nutrition is about helping people understand both how to prevent disease, but also to understand where it is that they are now? Or is there a different kind of focus?
Yeah, I would say that every people is got his own story in
Yeah.
terms of health, in terms of nutrition and where they want to go. And it's all about meeting people where they are. But what
Mm,
I see as a integrative nutrition specialist and naturopathic doctor is that mostly what people do is that they care a lot about nutrition and they are trying to do their best when it comes to weight loss issues or health issues. They believe that everything is a question, a matter of nutrition.
Yeah.
And it's just like they have this whole idea that nutrition could be perfect, but
Mm.
there's no way nutrition is perfect. And then they start having this fatigue, this bloating, this mood that is changing, and they feel
Mm.
stuck, and they don't understand why, because to them, they've been doing the perfect
Yeah.
thing in terms of nutrition. And there is no such thing as perfect, because even the word healthy to me is something that is so paradoxical. Is healthy the notion of high protein? Is
Yeah.
healthy the notion of going keto? Is it about
Hmm.
low carbs? And to me, it's none of the things
Yeah.
because we are not talking health here. We are just talking about trends. And
Mm.
one thing, this is a precious notion to understand that one thing can be really thriving for someone, but it can be a poison for another one.
Absolutely. I am so with you on that. It's so true. Like, so for example, if you were to give me a beautiful French baguette, I would
I
love it, but it
get.
would really, really upset my stomach for days and days and days because I can't tolerate gluten. But if you were to give it to somebody else who thoroughly enjoyed it, there wouldn't be anything really wrong with that. And it's so interesting. I love what you said about there is no such thing as the perfect diet and perfect nutrition. There are only trends. And then if we put the individual back in the middle, and I'm an integrative health coach, you're an integrative doctor, and naturopathic nutritionist, and we see the same. It's like you can't look at one thing in isolation, and that includes what you're putting in your mouth and in your body. And if you are I don't know about you. I mean, we were taught to optimize systems and to look at that kind of nervous system, digestive system, immune system. All of them work together, don't they? And it's really, really important and valuable. So when you work with an individual who comes to you and they're like, I want to get my nutrition perfect. There's something wrong with me. What do I
Yeah.
need to eat or stop eating? Where would you start with them then?
Actually, I would stop them from having this kind of, perspective on nutrition, just like everything is all around nutrition. And we'll start from the health, okay? Trying to
Mm,
find the root cause of every imbalance. And I'm talking to them about the body as an ecosystem. So
mm,
to try to understand that when your body is out of balance, it's not just because of nutrition. It's because there's something going wrong that is deeper than that. It can be in terms of hormones, it can be digestive issues, it can be the metabolism,
yeah.
and everything is working as a whole. It's a whole system, and everything is together. And people tend to believe that we, as a body, are separate pieces, just like the digestion is,
Yeah.
the hormones are there, and the stress is somewhere else, the body is like different compartments that
Hmm.
we just take one thing and put it on the side and move on to something else.
Mm.
As human beings, we are living under an ecosystem, and unless we try to understand the system as a whole, the cells,
Mm.
the organs, the nervous system, there is no way it can work for someone, because yes, it all starts with the root cause of any imbalance.
Yeah. Root cause of any imbalance. And getting to that root cause can sometimes be tricky. And sometimes there are lots of layers even to get there, isn't there? Because you might be looking at aspects of childhood trauma, of kind of ancestral health issues, of
Exactly.
many different things going on, as well as the stress of what's going on in a woman's life. So how do you get started with that? Do you support your clients? Do they need to fill in a health history? What helps you get to that root cause?
Yeah, so the first thing we are doing together is having a vitality assessment, which is like an
Oh
hour
yeah.
and a half most of the time. And we'll be discussing everything around health, nutrition, their health history as well, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the lifestyle, their environment as a whole, because everything that's happening inside the body is a symptom of, you know, the world around. Just like
Mm-hmm.
even the environment, people don't really are not really aware of it, but the pollution, the
Mm-hmm.
people you hang on with on an everyday basis is something that can really deteriorate your
Yeah,
health. And
absolutely.
yeah, people don't think about it. They don't
Mm.
think about endocrine disruptors. They don't think about the way they eat. They think about what they eat, but not, you know, eating in a calm space and taking time to
Yeah.
chew your meals. And because there are a lot of biochemistry happening there as well.
Mm.
So that's all about trying to understand the person as a whole, not just the nutrition, but everything that makes this person unique.
Yeah. So listening to that, I think that you put that individual at the center. So you generally work with people one to one. How
Yeah.
do you? So do they work with you over a period of time or a series of sessions? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so what I do with them is starting with a 3 month coaching program, and every week we'll have a health session.
Mm.
Because I'm also a health coach, I don't just work on, you know, the integrative nutrition part of it, but I'm
Yeah.
trying also to try to understand what's happening underneath in terms of emotions,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of stress management, in terms of lifestyle habits as well. Because what we see in people is that most of the time, the way they do things or the way they don't do things, it can really hinder their whole, the whole, you know, ecosystem. What I mean by that is that, for example, people who are professionals, who are entrepreneurs, most of the time they're really busy and they don't take time for themselves. And just the fact of being overly stressed all the time, all day, and not taking the time to eat in a calm space or just, you know, having the time for themselves, for the self-care, it can really increase the hormonal stress, hormonal imbalance, and have insulin going high, cortisol going high.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, just as important as looking at the plate in the first place.
Yeah. Oh, so powerful. It really is so powerful and so true. Um, and I suppose that with that coaching, like so very similar to me, it's like you find that, I might sometimes find myself working over a period of time on something as simple as when and where somebody eats, not necessarily even what is on their plate, which is so interesting. So it's a really lovely to hear you
Mhm.
echo that as well. Um, I who do you really love to work with? So, as you know, I tend to work with women in this messy middle of life who are juggling and balancing maybe kids, maybe career, maybe elderly parents, and finding kind of a way to rethink where they put their own self-care and health and well-being in the middle of that mix. Who do you particularly enjoy working with, Anissa?
I enjoy working with women who are active women, mostly busy
Mm,
professionals, just like we are, you know. And we tend, you know, this person tends to get stuck in terms of finding a balance for themselves, just trying to be able to just have some self time, to be in an environment that seems safe and out of fear, you know, because they don't have this time to get in the rest and digest system, for example.
mm,
Even the tiny things that you mentioned, you know, we need to go back to basics with
yeah.
them, because most of the time the things that needs to be done are the simplest and the basic
Mm,
things. So yes, I enjoy doing this work with busy professional, be it men or women. Most of the time they are 30, 35 plus
yeah.
people that come to me because they know that they are in a time of their life that they have to move on, when, you know, in terms of
Mm,
project, in terms of business, personal life as well.
mm,
And they feel really stuck.
yeah.
And sometimes they have health issues, that have them go from pill A to pill B. And
Mm.
second medication is bringing more secondary effects than benefits. And so they get really stuck. And now
Yeah.
they need to find a new way, to look at health
Mm.
and balance.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, that's so powerful, isn't it? Like your 30s are when I'm nearly 50, but your 30s are when you understand that actually the way that you lived your life in your 20s, where you were burning the candle at both ends and just trying to do all of the things, can't quite keep up with that anymore. And that's right. We need to make some shifts and changes. So it's a really powerful time to make those changes. Um, so how can people get in touch with you? And is there anything that I can I'll put some links in below, but what's the best way for people to get in touch with you and find out more about your work, Anissa?
Oh, so you can find me on Instagram at Wake Up Balance page, and the same on Facebook as
Mm-hmm.
well. Or they can just email me whoopcoaching@gmail.com if they have any questions or if they want to start a vitality assessment with me. It would be my pleasure.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Anissa. It's really lovely to speak to
Thank
you. I
you.
think the work that you do sounds really, really powerful. And I'm sure that you're helping so many people find their optimal health and well-being from a really supported and deep place. So thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much for having me today.
You're very welcome.